Ladies and gentlemen, greetings from Chicago. It is indeed a special privilege and honor for me to be here with you to celebrate 151st birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. Today also happens to be the birth anniversary of another great leader, Lal Bahadur Shastri ji. So I'm delighted that we all got together to share our views and thoughts on Gandhi and Gandhian values. Unfortunately, I could not join you earlier because I had another Zoom call with Bahrain. Today is a busy day. I have about 5 such meetings with different parts of the world. I'm delighted to be with you. Pune is one of my favorite cities. And I want to remind all of us today that Mahatma Gandhi is more relevant to the world today than ever before. World today is going through a major crisis, not just because of coronavirus, economic slowdown, but mainly because of rise of populists all over the world. I'm sure some of you have seen the debate between presidential candidates in America. And looking at these two great leaders of a great democracy, you feel that there's a huge void in Gandhian leadership. Values, character. To me, Gandhi means a way of life. I was born in 1942 in British Raj. I remember when Gandhiji died, I was about 5-6 years old. I was sitting outside my house in a small little tribal village. My father walked in and said, Gandhiji has been shot. I was too young to understand the implication. But immediately my mother took us and gave us a bath, as if somebody in the family had died. This is a normal custom in Gujarati family. I grew up in Gandhian way of life. Not because we were Gujaratis, but my parents decided to send us to boarding school, which practice Gandhian philosophy. I went to a small boarding school where Sardar Patel was born in Gujarat, and we learned all about discipline, truth and absolute truth, trust, love for other human being, celebration of diversity, inclusive understanding, non-violence, bottom-up development, decentralization, democratization, freedom and the power of freedom, and need for justice. These are so very fundamental, simple ideas, but difficult to practice in life. Today, we also live in a connected world. For the first time in the human history, we are all connected. Never happened before. To me, connectivity is as powerful as fire. Connectivity is as important as anything that human civilization has ever seen before. And this connectivity is very special. This connectivity is a hyperconnectivity. It connects people from all over the world all together instantly. And this connectivity really is all about democratization, decentralization, and demonetization. And all of these three things were very fundamental to Gandhian thinking. Of course, democratization, we all understand, where everybody is equal. You sort of have space for people to express their views. And this technology and hyperconnectivity also brings openness, accessibility, networking, democratization, decentralization, accountability. And as a result, hyperconnectivity becomes the core, to me, of promoting Gandhian values in the modern world. If Gandhiji would have been alive today, he would use this hyperconnectivity in a very creative way. Then you won't have all these lies on social media. So on one hand, you have this hyperconnectivity. On the other hand, you have rise of populist movements all over the world. In India, in US, in Turkey, in many other parts of the world, forces have come together to undermine democracy. Institutions are being captured. Hate is being propagated. Divisions are very common. And when you look at Gandhian values, you find that there is a 180 degrees difference in populist thought. When Gandhi talks about truth, they want to propagate lies. When Gandhi talked about trust, there is a lot of mistrust in our society today. Love, there is hate. Inclusion, there is exclusion. Bottom-up development, there is top-down development. And these are very serious issues. And these issues really affect people at the bottom of the economic pyramid, weaker sections of the society, more so than anywhere else. And it is about time that we rise and again have the courage that Gandhiji talked about to stand up for the right values. It's not easy. In a populist wave, it is not very easy to stand up because they become vindictive. Take it personally. Through lies, attack. Start a propaganda. Use money power to get after you. File court cases. Give all kinds of allegations. And that is the time to remember Gandhi. Gandhi to me is a thought. Gandhi to me is an idea. Gandhi to me is a way of life. Gandhi was beyond an individual. It was a spirit. And it can only come from within. Gandhi cannot come from outside. Gandhi is not about talking about good ideas. Gandhi is about living Gandhian way. Simplicity is not very easy, believe me. Very few people can handle success because the desire to sow success is so very large. To live a simple life is very complex. To come up with a simple idea is very complex. And when you look around today, you see that Gandhi also talked about the fact that there are only two important things in life. One is planet, and two, people. Planet doesn't need us, but we need planet. So our first priority, according to Gandhian thought, has to be to take care of our planet. Global warming, environment, pollution, our ocean, our animals, our insects. Look at what has happened during COVID-19. One little virus from nowhere can put entire world to halt. And then we begin to rethink through our purpose, our goal, our methods. And Gandhi always talked about connectivity with nature. It is very important to be connected to our nature, give space to others, other life forms, and not take over world as if we are the only one who have right to live in this world. As we begin to take over space from animals, virus will continue to attack us because there has to be a balance. So our first priority, according to Gandhian thought, has to be to take care of our planet. And the second priority is to take care of our people, irrespective of their race, religion, color, caste, profession, income, education. I think we tend to divide people by compartmentalizing them. And as soon as we find somebody, we want to put them in a box. It's like, is he rich or poor? Is he old or young? Is he male or female? Is he black or white? Is it brown or yellow? And I think this mindset of dissecting people creates all the conflicts. If you look at all the wars in the world, it is all about exclusion. People fought because they were not included. Inclusion brings peace and prosperity for everybody. Exclusion creates conflict and violence. And these are very fundamental issues that people don't understand. People, maybe they understand, they don't want to accept it. So people say, okay, you are this religion, I'm that religion, and we are different. Gandhi talked about diversity. How lucky we are to have the kind of diversity we have in the world. Diversity in our nature, diversity in our people, diversity in our language, food, music, culture. How boring life would be if we were all of the same type. We are lucky to be different, and we must learn to explore each other. I can see entire life spent in exploring people, in understanding them. To me, that's a great journey. Then accumulating money. If I have to accumulate something, I would like to accumulate experiences in learning to know other people. That is so very rich that no amount of money can compare the value I can create out of learning others. So Gandhi today definitely means different things to different people. There are some who even talk about hating him, and I feel sorry for them and their intelligence and their intellectual. Gandhi is an idea. You take what you want to take from him. He's an ocean full of ideas. You pick the right things and you go within yourself to examine what can be done to improve your life, your family's life, your community life. Gandhi also talked about community. Communities make things happen. No governments can do what communities can do. No policies can change local conditions if people in the community are not willing to change. So all of these ideas put together gives us an opportunity today to rethink, to go inside each one of us at the time of Corona crisis and see how we want to come back. Do we want to go back to what it was? Or we really want to redesign ourselves? I'm just finishing a book on redesigning the world. Now that's a big idea, because I believe world was last designed after World War II by US predominantly, which gave birth to UN, World Bank, IMF, NATO, WTO, GDP, GNP, per capita income, balance of payment, trade deficit. And that idea was based on democracy, human rights, capitalism, consumption, and military. That design worked well for 75 years, because in 75 years, we haven't created any new institution. 75 years down the road with hyperconnectivity, that design is obsolete. It doesn't work anymore. But we are not looking at a new grand design for the next 75 years, but we are trying to fix something which is not fixable. And that's what Gandhi's message is. Gandhi's message is change, and change from within. And I think we are at a point today in the human history that we need mega change. And for mega change, we need to change from within. I believe this is the greatest opportunity for mankind to really look inside to see how we can bring Gandhi back to the mainstream of thought to change this world. Thank you for the opportunity. Really appreciate being with you. Frank Islam is a good friend of mine. Good to hear him and nice to have him with all of us. I know he's a busy man, especially now with US elections around the corner. So I'm glad he could give us some time. Mr. Thorat is there, and so many other distinguished people are there. I don't want to spend time naming everybody because it will take another 10 minutes, but really delighted to be with you. And thank you for the opportunity. Sachin, thank you.